sun rose last Sunday morning, shining its light on a new day and on hockey. There was news from the National Hockey League. The lockout, for all intents and purposes, was over. And Wendell Young got an early call from Vancouver.
You hear a lot of things. You don't get told directly, but you hear a lot of things where rumor has it all the time. And so you kind of see what's going on, and then everyone's reading Twitter, everyone's reading online. So I don't do a lot of that, but I do hear stuff from people, and just reading on TSN or any of the websites. I read the updates on the NHL network and stuff. Just get updates on that part, and then it was just you knew it was going to happen once they got over the big hurdles. It was going to happen. So. And just got the warning that here's who's going to go, and then if it's official, here's who's going, and got a call in the morning, Sunday morning, and say, hold these guys out of the lineup. And most teams around the NHL held their guys out of the lineup, especially with us playing 3-3. They didn't want guys injured. They didn't want to take that chance, especially guys that will be in their lineup once the season starts. So. And it's been a long season for the players already. I think they need a rest before they start actually true training camp, back to training camp and into the season.
Right from the beginning, this was a unique challenge. The trio of brand new coaches were called upon to shoulder the effects of the dispute between their parent club, its league, and the players who fill its ranks.
It's been a crazy year. It's been a different year. Obviously to be back coaching is what you love to do, and it's been such a different year from any other year. I've never been a head coach when it's been a lockout situation like this. So there's lots of challenges. There's lots of good things that have gone on and happened. But in saying that, it's the normalcy will probably be good for us all.
I think that's kind of a unique situation with us and our team this year. Is a lot of other teams who have had established coaching staffs, with the team the year before, didn't have as much of a learning curve. We're new, and the players are new to us. The whole scenario is new as far as what we're presenting to the team. If they're seeing it for the first time, it takes a longer amount of time to buy in. But now we're starting to feel that they're starting to get it. They're starting to understand exactly what we want from them, and you're starting to see it in our play. Our productivity has gone up, and we want to maintain that that constant rise in our level of play. And I think to do that, we have to make sure that we continue to remind them and impress upon them the things that make us a different organization than other teams.
An awful lot of teams in the American Hockey League will be affected by the NHL getting back to work. For us, having Tanev, Kassian, Ebbett, Schroeder all head up right away here. They're having mini camps. They're going to have their 7 days of preparation prior to the season starting up in Vancouver. So good opportunity for those guys to go up, and hopefully for all of them they get a chance to stick and play games and be a part of that. There very well could be more movement, but for now, those 5 guys will be gone, and it means opportunity for other guys. It means that it was something that we have talked about since training camp, that this day could come, and it meant more ice time, more opportunity, maybe guys playing in different roles than maybe they played in earlier on in the year, and had great results from it from Sunday's game. And like I said, everybody's going to go through it, and it's part of what we knew was maybe going to happen.
Well, it's going to be a big change. Right now we're taking 5 guys out of our lineups that were carried heavy minutes throughout the course of our year so far. But with that said, it's adding opportunities for other guys that are American Hockey League players, and potential NHL players are going to get more ice time. More of a burden's going on certain guys, and certain guys have to step up. So it's a great opportunity for the players that are going up to play in the NHL, and with the NHL finally lockout finally being over, it's nice to have that back, and then we can kind of get settled. There's a lot of, I think, uncertainty within the dressing room, and I think there's a lot of uncertainty amongst the players. I'm not sure, they're always waiting. They always have their NHL updates, and it just doesn't affect, the NHL lockout just doesn't affect the NHL players. It affects the American Hockey League players too, and the East Coast League players.
I think the players right now, they understand the situation that we're all in, and the good part is that we did have a large camp. We invited a lot of players to our camp. I think we had over 2 teams, and a lot of those players got a chance to be exposed to what we're all about, and we kept them here longer. Wendell made sure that all the players knew that, wherever they were going, to stay in shape and be ready. And, we tried to parlay that to them as well when they were here. And we've got some good coaches that are coaching, Kalamazoo. We got Nick Bootland down there and some others that have, been invited to our training camp. So they kind of know what systems we were using as well. And hopefully they've continued to do that so that those players stepping in here are a little bit more in an advantageous role or position to be able to play the role that, we're asking them to play. So, now we start to see that whole regular season kick in, where we're going to have players called up, we're going to have players sent down, we're going to, have to call up players ourselves and fill certain spots on the team. But the key is that the team in general has to keep moving forward. And whether one of our top players gets called up, or we're calling up someone else's top players from the teams below us, we have to make sure that they buy in right away, and we're ready for them when they do come in, so that we can expose them to what we're doing at that time, so that they have the best chance to help our team.
The staff holds steadfast in their confidence in this team. They have not wavered in their belief that this team has what it takes to win.
I think we had a chemistry anyway. I think we had a good team that way, but at the same time, we had huge numbers at the beginning of the season. Like, we had a lot of players, and by design we had a lot of players because we were just waiting to see what happened. And I know we sat as management with Bill Bentley and Gino Baracco and myself in the summer, basically planning for 2 teams, like a team with a lockout and a team without the lockout. And I think we were well prepared. We're probably one of the better prepared teams with the lockout ending, that we have players in place that can step in. We've made some, recalls. We brought players in. And even with the NHL lockout being over and the amount of injuries we have, any given night we've had 8 to 9 injuries, which is crazy to have, that many injuries. But you got to give credit to, I guess, more our depth and our players. That our guys play hard every night. Doesn't matter who's in the lineup.
Our team was the beneficiary of having some of the top players in the league play for the Chicago Wolves. And I think that as the AHL in general, we've been fortunate as coaches, as players that play on the teams, as fans, to be able to watch some of the most skilled players that are going to be part of the NHL for the next 10 years or so to come. And now those players, that were here, first of all, they worked very, very hard. They displayed an incredible high level of skill. And I think a lot of that rubbed off on a lot of other players in that dressing room. So we were the beneficiary of all that as coaches, because there's no better example that we could set forth as coaches as to have some of the top elite players perform what we're trying to get them to execute or perform at the very highest level, and for other players to see that. So we kind of had teaching tools, here for us. And so we appreciate that, and we're obviously hoping the best for the players that did get called up. At the same time now, we have to make adjustments on our team. And Wendell and Gino Baracco have done a good job in going out to get players. They've had players playing at different levels now for preparation for this moment. And now the transition phase is probably the most difficult part, because there's going to be so much change all at once. And we have to be ready for that. And I think we are ready for that. I think that a lot of young players are going to get opportunities that they've been kind of looking for. At the same time, as a coaching staff, we have to make sure that we go over a lot of things that we've gone over with our present team, and make sure we incorporate a lot of the new players into that system and ideals.
The biggest thing, obviously, from early on was the numbers. We go from 27, 28 players, and now we're down to scrambling and getting players in here to fill all the spots, calling some guys up from Kalamazoo. So that was a large challenge. I think the other challenge is, one thing about the American Hockey League is that the players, if they always know there's a chance to be called up if they play well, it's a good motivational tool for the coach. It's a carrot that you can throw in front of them, and then that wasn't available for 3 months of the year, and it was, guys were just kind of cruising along and waiting to see what was going to happen. Now, once the NHL's up and running, there's going to be injuries, that things are going to happen with the big team in Vancouver, and guys have to be ready here. So it'll be keeping these guys sharp, and they want to be at their best of abilities every night, so that maybe they be the guy that gets called up.
So it falls upon guys who had to take a step back to accommodate the extra slots on the roster to anchor this team going forward.
Oh, I think that we have our good leadership group that is here, and obviously the Mathesons, Haydars, Sterlings are going to be around here. Hunt, those guys are on Chicago Wolf contracts. There's a couple others, and those guys will be a constant here. And obviously Darren being our captain, it's a big part of his role is to make sure that that room is still stays together, whether we're bringing in new guys or it's the same group. They've done a real good job of that this year. When we do have, if Gordon is here and Debian is here, those guys, when they're here as well, that's part of them having A's on their sweaters. That's part of what they have to do to keep this chemistry strong. And as coaches, you're trying to find the pieces. We're giving, obviously, some young guys are getting more of an opportunity, and you're trying to win as many hockey games as possible, and then at the same time teach these guys how to play at this level.
Those types of guys have to step up now and take the team on their back, and we, as coaching staff, we are sure that they will do that. They're the leaders on this team, and then you need to continue to lead the guys that are here and then the guys that are coming.
As the dust settles, the lockout and its implications have left a lasting impression at this level.
Our lineup's more concrete, the fact that we don't have a ton of players anymore. We were getting to the nitty-gritty also with injuries too. So, but now we have kind of more of a stable lineup. We had to, take guys in and out throughout the year here with an abundance of players. If a player's sitting 3 games, you want to get him into the 4th game, at least keep them game ready. And so now I think there'd be some continuity within our lines and within our lineup. Players treated the fans to something that they might not ever be able to see again. I think the thing is that the level of hockey is with those players in the lineup and playing, everyone else has to up their game to hit that level. So I think that they set the pace for the season with their level of play. I think that's a big thing. And the positive is, I think the guys that have played in the NHL for a long time, I think they realized what it's like to play in the American Hockey League, and they might appreciate the NHL even more. Instead of taking those long bus rides, they're jumping on charter flights, so maybe they'll appreciate those charter flights a little more.